Bill Maher was interviewed by Stephen A., and he was not talking about Trump and Elon like the Hitler figures people said they were just 2 months ago. Watch this.
But I'm curious to see, for example, what Elon Musk is going to do. I'm curious to see how influential he's going to be. He is tasked with reinventing the government, basically. He said some things which I think are great, and I'm on the page with. The first thing he said was, we're going to ask everybody in the government who has been staying home, and that's been a lot of people since the pandemic, to come back to work.
Right.
And we expect about 20% of the workforce to then just quit, and we welcome that. And I thought, yeah, that's probably okay, because uh, if 20% of the government workforce quit, would we notice the difference? I'm guessing we probably wouldn't. He also said he was going to go after the F-35. Okay, perfect. That's
Jets. Yeah.
exactly the kind of thing we should do. This is a fighter jet that they've been funding to the tune of like $1 trillion. And he said, first of all, it's obsolete. We don't use fighter jets anymore. We won't in the very near future. They're just going to get pilots killed, and we have drones now. If that's what's going to go on in the government, I'm all for it.
I'm all for it. This Bill Maher that just said that was talking about how Trump must lose, had to lose. He said that on his show just a couple months ago. Like every show, he talked about how Trump was a threat to democracy. But here was the thing. What Bill Maher says in that video right there, I think that is the general sentiment for people who voted for Kamala Harris. I think most people who voted for Kamala Harris, they're actually deep down excited about some of these historic experiments that Trump is trying because truly they've never been done before. You look at Doge, for instance. Something like Doge has never been tried in the history of America. You look at Bobby Kennedy, for instance, what he wants to do with just overhauling our health elite. Deep down, people want to see how that goes. Even people on the far left, this is what's interesting about a lot of these things. These aren't really left-right. This is more populist establishment. So there's a lot of people on the left who are more populist. And they're seeing, oh, Bobby Kennedy is going to kind of wreck big food. And yeah, they didn't talk about it. They didn't beg Kamala Harris to take this position. But now that it's a reality, they look at it and they think, yeah, that would be pretty good. And I'm excited to see how it turns out. That's what they're saying. Obviously, the Democrats didn't campaign on it because it was fairly risky. I think one evidence of the fact that it was risky is like Bobby Kennedy didn't join the Trump team until just a few months before Trump won. There was a lot of talk for a long time if Trump would even make that a part of his campaign. I think in hindsight, it was a huge strength to him. Doge is the same way. Doge, that was not always a thing. And Elon Musk being on board with Donald Trump, that only happened after the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. So I think a lot of us think about these things like it's always been part of Trump. They're very recent. They're very, very recent because they're risky. They were risky to campaign on. They paid off. And now that they've paid off, I think people on the right and the left are very excited for it. Let me tell you about a story of election night. This is a personal story, and this is why I believe that Bill Maher is not the only one. I was in DC. I've told this story on my show before. I was in DC before, during, and after the election. And before the election, businesses all around my hotel were boarding up because they were expecting Kamala Harris to lose and they were expecting there to be some violence and some looting. And I was ready in DC with a camera to watch all of it. I was fully expecting that as well, by the way. I predicted Trump would win. DC is 94% Democrat. I was fully ready for there to be some craziness and I was going to get some footage of it and upload it on my channel. It was going to be awesome. But when election night came, there was nothing. There was less than nothing. I literally went around the whole city. It was like 1 a.m. Nothing happened. There was nothing at the White House, nothing at Congress, nothing. No one did anything. And I think that I know why. And it's the reason why Bill Maher has said the things that he's saying. When it came down to the results, those who voted for Kamala remembered all of the things under Trump that were pretty darn good. I'm not saying they would have voted for Trump. And sure, they bought some of the media lies about Trump, that he was racist and things like that. I'm not saying that they stopped believing those things. They still believed it, but they knew deep down, if Trump was reelected, the wars would probably go away, the economy would be booming, and that illegal immigrants would suddenly stop invading our borders. So there was no need to riot because deep down, they were pretty happy. And what we're seeing today is that the elites, not just the random people in DC, but even Bill Maher, who I would say is an elite, he's a media elite, are admitting the exact same thing. I want to take a moment to talk about a company that's making a real difference, Prison Fit. Prison Fit is a groundbreaking program developed by prisoners designed to support incarcerated and recently released individuals through bodyweight exercises, nutrition, mindset coaching, and re-entry training. It's a comprehensive approach that includes workout and cooking books, clothing, accessories, and even employment training to help people successfully transition back into society. They're currently running a Kickstarter campaign to fund 2 exercise books, expand their website, and support their in-prison small business course. This course has already helped hundreds of inmates gain the skills and tools they need to succeed after prison. Helping people re-enter society and make meaningful changes in their lives is something I'm very passionate about. So please join me and head over to the link in my description and check out Prison Fit today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and watch another video.